What's up, y'all? Let's dive into Arista chart. First, let's go over here to the right. They just recently had earnings and they beat, and we can see that the last three earnings that they have, they also beat. They have a technical rating at a sell and an analyst rating at a buy. So this is a good divergence, especially on a good company. We have a 1 year price target of 188.85 with 33% upside. Now let's look at the chart. And let's look at the chart. Okay, we on a monthly chart. The month isn't over yet, but so far we have this big red candle down. Um, Came down to test the 12 cloud. Just by looking at this chart, I can see here kind of like this trend line that is respecting to the upside. Came down to test our 12 cloud. So let's go to the 1 week. Okay, since this week is already completed, we can see that that trend line is actually an area that is respecting. We can clean it up a little bit. You want to get to the point where you can get the most touches. Now we see we came up here, rejected, came down, test the 12 cloud, came up again, test the 12 cloud, pull back, came up again, tested it, came back down, test our 12 cloud, our WTMA cloud. You can see where the 12 cloud is sitting right on top of the WTMA cloud. So that's giving it like a double layer of support. So every time it kind of loses the 12, but we really don't fully lose the 12 back here because we didn't turn red, but came down, tested 12, chop, came up, came down, tested 12. We lost it a little bit, but we didn't fully close full body and wick under it. A demand zone got created right at historical support, came up, test the 12 cloud, popped all the way up, test this trend line, came back down. We lost the 12 just a little bit. That's why you just see this right here a little bit red. Now, when the whole cloud is red, that means we got a full body and wick close under it. But since we didn't, price just closed under it, we can see that we just lost the 12 EMA. Once we lose the 12 cloud, that's when the whole thing is red. You see our WTMA start flattening out, turn into resistance. Came up, tested it, popped back down, came up, finally broke, tested. We tested this trend line twice, so once, then we tested it again and came back down. Tested the WTMA, chop, tested the trend line again, came back down, tested the 12 cloud, came up, tested it again, one. Next week, tested it again. Next week, tested it again, tested it again. Kind of broke above it. We fully closed above it, but that didn't last long. We came back down under the trend line, tried to break it again, didn't. Try to break it again, didn't. Got our arc, got our full body and wick, not touching the WTMA. Now you see right here, the cloud is this line right here where the cloud is still blue. And next, the cloud is red. The whole cloud is red. I mean, we lost our 12 cloud. We lost our short-term trend. Full body and wick not touching. Also, we under our WTMA cloud, full body and wick not touching. So anytime we have a full body and wick not touching the WTMA cloud to the upside, we know a big move is happening. And if it happens to the downside, the same thing is going to happen. A big down move is going to happen, as we can tell. Came all the way to the 200. Got our inverse arc. Came down to this historical support, right where this demand zone was created. So this was created April in 2024. We didn't come back to test it until April 2025. So a year later, our inverse arc came up, broke above our 12 cloud, came to test our 12 cloud. Now our next resistance is our WTMA cloud. Once we was able to break above that, got our 12 cloud crossing up our WTMA cloud. We got our level 3 right here. Full body and wick not touching. Let me see, is it not? Let's really zoom in. Yep, you gotta really zoom in for that one. Full body and wick not touching. 12 cloud, our WTMA, and it's floating above the trend line, and we're above our 200. So that's our level 3 right there. And as you can see, we came right up to test this trend line again. So we know this trend line is pretty important because every time we come up to it, we get rejected. Came down, created another demand zone, consolidated right here. Put, see if we can put a box right here. Consolidated right here in this area. Then once we broke above our trend line, broke above this rectangle, this consolidation area. We went up to test that trend line again. And look, we had earnings right here by the trend line, stretch it out. We got earnings. Fix it. We got earnings right by the trend line. So that was a factor. Earnings could have pushed us above the trend line, but that acted as resistance and we came down. Now on the weekly, we see that we coming down to this weekly fair value gap. Once we created this fair value gap, price tested it and then we shot up. So we tested it at 144 and went all the way to 179. After earnings, we know why they fell. If not, go watch my last video where I broke down Arista networks and why they fell after earnings. As we can see, we came down to test that same fair value gap. Even on the monthly, we go back. You can see it's right here at the 12 cloud, right at the top of this. If we draw a line right at the top of this rectangle, basically broke above it and came right back down to test the top of it. If we go back to the 1 week, look at that. Now this is acting as, once it acted as resistance, we broke above it and acted as support, broke under it, acted as resistance. Here, we broke above it, broke, and now we come down and act as support. So we want to see this level hold on the weekly. This is a good level to hold. We want to see this level hold as support because once we broke the resistance, we had to come back and test it as support. But we are also up against this trend line. So we were squeezed, didn't have enough momentum. We had earnings again, came down. They beat earnings, but it can always be forward guidance or supply chain, like I talked about. Came down under this line, under this 142.54 level, consolidated under it. And once we broke above that area, we had earnings again, and we came back down to test it. As far as our WTMA, we didn't get no art. We didn't lose our 12 cloud, and we're testing the bottom of our WTMA cloud. So we're at some sort of support right now. We're also coming to test this trend line. Well, both trend lines we're coming to test. And this will be the middle of this fair value gap. So we almost tested the middle of this fair value gap. Now let's go to the 1 day. We could probably see that trend line a little bit better. As you can see for that trend line, every time we came up to it, we got rejected. Came up, rejected, rejected, bounce off the 200 cloud, bounce, bounce, lost the 200. So remember where we consolidated right here on the 1 week. Let's just go back. Where we had this consolidation right here before we broke above this level. If we go back to the 1 day, you see that's an area where we consolidated around this 200 cloud. Now, once we broke above that, you can actually see once we broke above it, we came back to test it, broke above resistance, tested it as support, make sure it holds, and we shot up. Tested that resistance line, tested the 12 cloud, came back up to try to do it again, but right here we seen the arc right here. So if you have the wolf chart and everybody that's in the wolf empire, we seen that we got this arc right here. So now we know once we test this 12 cloud, we're just gonna come up to try to test this WTMA. We need a we're gonna need a fresh inverse arc. As you can see, we came up. This was a supply zone. We wicked to the supply zone and we created a bearish order block. So this right here, this bearish order block is letting us know smart money is selling. The China Wolf supply zone right here is letting us know retail and smart money is selling at this price. Our bearish order blocks is letting us know where smart money is selling. So we see a lot of selling in this area right here. From 179 to 172. This is an area that they're going to sell off. Once we did that, we came back down and look where we are now. We are at the 200 cloud. We haven't really tested this 200 cloud. We consolidated in the 200 cloud back here. The last time we really came to test it on the downside, not talking about testing it every couple days. I'm talking about the first time we came to test it was back here in 2025, November 2025. After that, we just been consolidating near this 200. We'll break above it a little bit, come back down to test it. And as we can see right here, smart money is buying shares. They're buying shares. They like Arista at these prices. 115, as we can see, we had a swing order block created right here at 117. Shot us up all the way to 179. And now we're testing our 200 cloud. Now this yellow mark right here, this is historical resistance that's turned into historical support. Now anytime it turns yellow, that means it's basically trying to break past it. So it was super gray, like dark gray like this. But once we start to break past it, it starts turning yellow. And if we were starting to break above it, it's starting to turn yellow. So the fact that we're right in the middle of it, it's fighting that support right now. So as we can see, Arista Networks is in a good area to buy some shares at for the long term. We look at our VRVP. We can see we had this big old move down after earnings. We just dropped completely, lost everything. Boom, came right to the 200 cloud. This is a prime area where smart money and people that want to buy shares are buying up Arista Networks at. Now, if we draw out some lines, now you can see the WTMA is all the way up here. We got to wait for that WTMA to come down. We're going to see our signal line. Then we want to see our WTMA come up, pick price up and go like that. We're trying to see an inverse arc. We came to test the bottom of our WTMA cloud. That didn't hold. Now we came to historical support, which is right here at the 200 cloud. Now they already dropped 20%. Well, they are 177. They already dropped 20% after earnings. So that's already a gigantic move down. Do I see them dropping any more? No, but anything can happen. So we like to plan for the downside and we like to plan for the upside. Now, knowing that they dropped 20% and they came right to their 200 cloud, this will be a perfect place to buy shares for the long term. They are a leader in their industry. Like I said, if y'all don't know about Arista networks, I broke them down in a previous video. Go check it out. But far as right now, we can see they're at their 200 cloud. Now let's go to the 4 hour. As you can see, our 4 hour, you can see that WTMA is trying to come pick price up. It's even closer. It's trying to come get it. We got a sell side liquidity sweep right at the 200, right at previous day low. We got a sell side liquidity sweep. They push price under the 200 cloud and they bought price right back up to sit right inside of it. The next day, they brought it down under the 200 cloud to bring it right back above it. I'll go to the 1 day really quick. Now we can see some levels to buy shares. Yes, this is a perfect time to buy shares. But we see this VRVP level right here. And we also see this big old gap from 154 to 162. We see previous day high. That's going to act as some level of resistance, which is also the bottom of this bearish fair value gap. And right here is the bottom of this fair value gap. Go to the 4 hour. We see the top of our WTMA cloud right here. That's going to act as some sort of resistance. Right now, we're just marking out levels where we can see Arista go to and it can act as some sort of resistance. Since we see no volume right here with our VRVP, we know once price close above 154, it can shoot up to 160, even to this 162 level. We can come right here, looking at this node right here, this node right here. On our 4 hour, the top of this 200 cloud will be an area of resistance. After we break that, we can come right here to the VRVP at 147. Then we can try to test previous day high at 149. Then we have this area right here where it's little to no volume right here, but we have some sort of volume. But we can also come to this 154 level. Let's go to the 2 hour. And on the 2 hour, we actually see we are getting our fresh inverse arc right here. So, okay, now that we got this little arc, what is the next step? The next step is to reclaim our 12 cloud, which is right here. We got to flip this cloud color to blue. You see the 200 here, WTMA here. Now that we came right down here to historical support, previous day low, we use that as some sort of support because we never really broke under it even more. We got our inverse arc right here. Now we want to get to our 12 cloud right here at the bottom of our 200 cloud. So that can act as some sort of resistance. This 144 level. Then we have these nodes right here that can act as some sort of resistance. 147. Then we have previous day high that can act as some sort of resistance at 149. Then we have our 200 cloud, the top of our 200 cloud at 152. Now, when we drew this level out at 154, we know this is the last level of any nodes from the 1 day down to the 2 hour. After 154, this 156 level we see after 154, we got this 156 level, which is the bottom of our WTMA cloud. After 156, we have this 158, and that was our 158 level is the top of our 12 cloud here and the bottom of our 4 hour WTMA line. The 158 level is the bottom of our WTMA cloud on the 4 hour. So we have some sort of resistance up here, but if we get enough momentum, we can shoot past and go straight to historical resistance right here. And if we get enough on that, we can go right to this VRVP level right here. So we see price, if we get enough momentum, we can see price go straight to this historical support right here. Got historical support right here at 162. And then we have our VRVP level at 164. Now, if we go back to the 2 hour, we can see we already getting our inverse arc. Let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's see. We go down. The 1 hour, the 1 hour already has an inverse arc slightly, but we have an inverse arc. It's currently trying to dominate our 12 cloud. And we know this right here, this 144 level will be our first line of defense. Will act as some sort of resistance. We're going to come up here, this 147 level, and you can see it lines up perfectly where it came as support, and then acted as resistance. We dropped down. We came up to it again and lost it. Next day, we tried to clear it. We tested this 149 level, but we also tested our 400 EMA. But this 400 EMA is the last line of defense. It will act as support after we lose the 200 cloud, and it will act as resistance. As we can see now, it's acting as resistance. So on a 1 hour, we are seeing an inverse arc. Next, we want to see price get to this 144 level. Break past that, get to 147, break past that, get the previous day high, break past that. We also have the bottom of our WTMA cloud. That's going to act as some sort of resistance at 143. So we got 143, 144, 147, at 148, 149, 52. We have 152. 153. We got 152. We got 154. We got 156, 158. After we pass that 158 level, we can see we have a nice little gap to that 162 to 165. Ultimately, we're trying to get back to this bearish order block right here. Let's go to the 4 hour. We're trying to get back here. Price is trying to get right back up here. So since price came down to the 200 cloud, we're seeing it act as some sort of support. This is where you want to buy shares for the long term. They are a great company. I broke them down. They're an industry leader, number one in their industry, and becoming even bigger. This is where you want to buy shares at. And this is why having a wolf chart is so essential and so important. We're going to be able to see when we get this inverse arc on the 4 hour. We already see it on the 1 hour. We want to wait for higher time frames. It's going to go from the 1 hour, and we're going to get an inverse arc on a 2 hour, and then on the 3 hour, and then the 4 hour is going to start creeping up, and then the 1 day, and then we're going to start shooting up from there. This is why having the wolf chart is so essential. We get to see so much more than just a regular chart. We get to see everything. We get to see where smart money is selling. We get to see where smart money is buying. We get to see where they're consolidating at. We get to see 200 cloud, where smart money been buying shares in this area since November of 25, buying shares, buying shares, buying shares, and it finally popped. And they made a ton of money. It came down to 116. We've seen that they bought more shares here. They consolidated, bought shares here, consolidated, ran it up a little, came back down, consolidated, came back down to the same area. So we had a wolf demand zone. So that's letting us know retail and smart money is buying it at this price. Then we have an internal order block letting us know smart money is buying it at this price, at this 118, this 116 level. Then we got a swing order block. So we got so much money sitting at this area right here, and it shot it all the way up. We get to see that with the wolf chart. Not everybody get to see what we get to see. And that's why the wolf chart is so different, and that's why it's the best thing out. Now, if we look on a 1 day, go back here, as we can see, coming down to this 200 cloud is so important because we know this is, if you want to be able to buy some shares and get in where smart money is getting in, this is a perfect area to start nibbling. Now, if you start seeing price hold over these levels, start going up, then you know, okay, they got their position. They treat these areas as buying positions as well. This is why when a good company falls 20% all the way to the 200, after earnings, Arista Networks became in the bear market. So just knowing that they've been beating earnings, if we go all the way back one, look how many times they've been beating earnings. They beat every earnings. Got created in 2014. Reported earnings here. And they've been beating earnings every time. Every one of these things is green with an arrow going up. Now, the stock might react and Wall Street might react differently to the earnings. As far as revenue, as far as earnings per share, They've been making more money and they've been doing it time after time. You can see 42, 48, 49, 52, 58. We can look on the you look on the revenue. 1 billion, 1.46, 1.51, 1.54, 1.57, 1.69, 1.81, 1.93, 2 billion, 2.2, 2.31, 2.49, and this one 2.71. So that's a huge jump. You can see this jump. You can see this jump from 2.31 billion to 2.49 billion. Then we jumped all the way to 2.71 billion. So they're making enough money and they're projected to do 2.82 billion. So they're making more money and their next earnings is August the 3rd, the day before my birthday. My birthday is on August 4th. So shout out to all the Leos out there. But we see that this trend line is active. We came down and that just gives us a lot more room. You know that they want to bring price. You know they got a 1 year price target at 188.85. And if we look at that, look where that 188.85 level is. 188.85. If I can get it right. Let's do 188.85. Let's try to get that on the nose. And look where that 188.85 level is. Locked up. The 188.85 level is right at the top of this trend line. So we see once again, we see this trend line is active and price is responding to this trend line. They have a 1 year price target to the top of this trend line. We see we finally got this good company to come down to test their 200 cloud, even on an earnings where they beat. They beat by 92 million. They beat this time by 104 million. They beat this time by 43 million. So they beat earnings, they beat revenue expectation. Coming down to the 200 cloud, this is a perfect time to buy. Now, anybody with the wolf chart, we would like to see an inverse arc on the daily time frame. We're already getting it on the 1 hour. But if it's on the 1 hour, then it's going to happen on the 2 hours. It's just going to trickle up. It's going to happen on 1 hour, 2 hour. That's going to eventually get an inverse arc. And as you can see, it already did a little bit. We already got it there, the 3 hour. It's trying to do an inverse arc 4 hour. You see the WTMA is coming down to it. It's trying to meet price. And price is going to eventually get above the WTMA. And eventually we're going to get it on a 1 day. Now, the fact that we're already getting on a 2 hour is also bullish. We see that historical support is holding. We see we need to come up to test our 12 cloud right here at this 145 level. So if we clear 144, let's just mark this level out right here. We clear 144, 145.94 is our 12 cloud. We need all this to happen on the 2 hour time frame. Just because it happens on the 5 minute, it doesn't matter. We need it to happen on a 2 hour. Then we're gonna come here and we're gonna come here to previous day high, the top of our 200 cloud, last level of VRVP, our WTMA cloud. Just because we got these VRVPs, our wolf chart is also telling us some other areas of resistance that they can meet. That ain't saying that this is going to act as resistance. It's just letting us know, hey, other people that have VRVP see this empty node. But us with the wolf chart, we also see another level that they don't get to see. And it's this bottom of our WTMA cloud. It's this 146 level. We get that. Empty nodes. So you want multiple confluence. You don't want no sign of resistance. You want empty nodes. You want to be above your 200 cloud. You want to be above your 12 cloud. You want an inverse arc. That's just going to be all the momentum just to keep pushing up to these nodes right here. This is where volume is. This is where they're selling. So also, once we get up to this area, we're going to be able to get a buy side liquidity sweep. We're going to see price peek its head above it. Let's make this a little small. Price is going to peek its head above this area right here, just enough. Probably even test this supply zone right here, our wolf supply zone. And then price is going to come back down. Since this is the first time testing it, we're not going to just blow past it because there's so much money sitting up here to sell it. We're going to come back down and probably test this 172 level where this VRVP area is. Then that'll give us room to chop up and go above the supply zone and clear it. And then we'll probably use this as some support. And we can see us go to this trend line. We know they want price up here. We can see this move over here. Let's move this over here. They want price up here. So it might take a minute. It's not just gonna go straight like this. It's gonna go like this. All right. We might get price go up here, but we know it's 187. They want to go to this 180, this 188.85 level. They want to go back to the trend line. That's what they're telling us. Now that we did a deep dive, we did our technical analysis, we did our due diligence, we're listening to the wolf chart, and they're saying, analysts are saying, we want to go back to the trend line. But we know with the wolf chart, it's not going to be a straight line up. We see some areas that they're going to have some trouble getting through. They're going to even down here. They're going to be able to get past this area, come back down. They're going to chop all these areas. They're going to chop up and down, up and down. You see this here, down, past. You can just see this. Might test the 200 cloud. We might even pass, boom, go up. Once we do this level, we're gonna see a nice candle that goes straight up here. Let me come back here, straight up here. And we see we got no volume right here. We can test, probably get rejected the first time. That'll line up right here. Probably get rejected the first time. Probably get a little bit more into this area, get rejected. Well, sell side. We're not just gonna go sell side first time. Sell side probably the third try. come back down, go to the supply or wolf supply zone, use this bearish order block because it will be deleted, but we're going to use this area as support, which is previous week high. We're going to use this level as some support to get up here. And you know they want to come back down to get to this, to get to that 188.85. That's how it's going to go. That's how price is going to react. We can see on the 1 day, we just see a lot of chopping. Chop, 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 chop. Testing all these levels that we drew out from the 2 hour, from the 4 hour, from the 1 day, and we got some from the 1 week. We're going to come up, test it, sell side. Here, the sell side here. Come back down. We might even come back to test this level here. No telling we gonna come back all the way down here. We might just come from the sell side to this level here, to this 176 level. So we can probably see, well, like that. Sell side, test this, come up again, test it, break past it, then use that wolf supply as support, then come up here to this 188.85 level. Ultimately, they want to get to this order block or wolf supply zone and test this trend line again. And once we get to this trend line, that'll be a factor if we're going to break past the trend line or if we're going to just reject from the trend line and come back down. And this trend line eventually will get longer and longer like this. And you could just see them continue to chop around this trend line. You can just see that. They don't break past the trend line. We can see them just use it as resistance like they have in the past. If y'all like this breakdown, like, comment, and subscribe, and y'all have a good one. Peace out.